Hi, I'm Bart Hanson. I'm the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the phone number in the description.
A 510 hand from San Diego.
Do they even do 510 in San Diego anymore? Is this from a long time ago, or is this from Oceans, or what?
No, it's from 7 Mile.
Okay.
They don't have it too often anymore because they only have 5-5 now. But,
Right.
every once in a while it still goes. This hand's from like a year ago though. So this is when it's going every day.
I didn't think it was. So you've seen play with Johnny Moreno and stuff like that. At that game?
Yeah, a bunch of those.
Yeah.
A bunch of those dudes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyways, this hand is a 510. Is undergun straddle on. Effective stack is 2,800.
All right, so it's 5-10-20. So it's 5-10-20 basically, right? With straddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5-10-20, and this game has been straddling almost every hand. So
all right. So this is like
5-10-20.
exactly the game that I play day in day out at the bike or HP. It's straight 5-10-20 basically is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this day specifically was like straddle almost every hand, so it really was. So undergun straddle's on. I opened the ace of spades, queen of hearts to 70.
From where?
3. Middle position 3, so like before the hijack.
So low jack, hero to 70.
Low jack, yeah.
Okay. Ace of spades, queen of hearts. Yep.
Yep. The cutoff calls.
Uh-huh.
The small blind calls, and everyone else folds. They both have me covered too.
Okay.
So the flop is about 220 in the pot. Is queen of spades, 9 of hearts, 6 of spades.
You have the ace of spades in your hand, right?
Yeah, I have ace of spades, queen of hearts.
Yep. Okay.
And it's queen of spades, 9 of hearts, 6 of spades on the flop. Small blind checks. I bet 140, and they both call. Or sorry, the cutoff folds, and the small blind calls.
So you bet 140 into 210, and the small blind calls.
215-ish. Yeah, cutoff fold, small blind calls. So turn, pot's now about 500. Turn is a 10 of spades.
Okay.
Small blind sinks for a little while, and bets 300 into 500. I just call.
You got the nut flush. You have the nut flush draw, obviously, right?
Yeah, I've got pair, nut flush draw. I don't think I can do anything other than call here.
All right. So before the river, so it's ace of spades, queen of hearts, low jack hero to 70, cutoff call, small blind calls, then a fold. Flop is queen of spades, 9 of hearts, 6 of spades. Small blind checks. Hero bets 140. Kind of on the large side. I mean, 2/3 the size of the pot. Small blind cutoff folds. Small blind calls. If you were ever going to be checking certain ace queens here in certain configurations, it would be nice to have the ace of spades to check if you wanted to check sometimes, but betting is obviously fine. Turn is the 10 of spades. Yeah. Now you have the nut flush draw. Small blind now leads out for 300 into 500, and now you call. That's an interesting lead by the small blind. What's the deal with him? Is he a profit player or a rec player or what?
I think he's probably not a pro player. He plays a lot. It's like a middle-aged Asian dude.
Okay.
He can play pretty loose sometimes, but he's definitely not scared money, and he's not dumb. So he might triple barrel sometimes, but like he's not just spazzing.
So he could probably have 7-8 suited. He could have a flush. He could have king jack. He would probably.
Yeah.
I mean, he closed the action, so I don't know if he ever slow plays nines or sixes.
Oh, you mean on the flop?
Yeah, on the flop. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know if he's. I think he would raise the flop with sets just because we have so much money behind.
So it's
who knows?
So it's 1100 to the river, right?
Yeah, 1100-ish to the river.
Yeah.
The river is the jack of diamonds.
Jack of diamonds.
Yep. And the small blind tanks for probably 2-3 minutes and checks. And so now I'm in a spot. I have about 2,200 left. I obviously have top pair, top kicker, and block and nut flush. And I really don't think I'm ever good here.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it's a tough one, though. It was honestly a spot where I was pretty much just lost. I thought about it for a long time, and I was like, well.
I mean, so it's interesting, right? Because you have it's a one-liner to a king out there, right? Like with ace king, right?
Yeah. But I don't see how many kings he has here.
No, I'm thinking about from your perspective. I'm trying to figure out what kings you have. So,
yeah. I mean,
that's the way to think about it, right? If you're thinking about bluffing, you got to ask yourself, do I arrive here at the end with a credible, enough? Yeah. I mean, with enough hands, and I mean the other issue here too is that, do you want to make a bet that is very, very large where you're, maybe only representing flushes. And then I would start to think about like, well, how often am I just smooth calling the turn with the nut flush? You might, because it's sort of a weird line by the small blind. I just wonder if that guy would ever level himself into thinking like if you make a huge bet that you wouldn't make the bet like this with just a king. Now, you can have ace king here though too. Again, this is an interesting board because it's queen of spades, nine of hearts, six of spades, 10 of spades, jack of diamonds. So if you had c bet ace king with a spade in it, whether it's the ace of spades or the king of spades, you might c bet ace king with the ace of spades as sort of to run across a bluff. Maybe not with all that high frequency, but you could find yourself here at the end with ace king that's not a flush because you pick up the spade draw on the turn and you've got a gutter to a jack. So this is a sort of an interesting run out because there are a number of different hands that you actually might have that you might bet for value, possibly for different sizes, right? Like a single king, ace king, and a flush, right? So if he leads out, it doesn't seem to me like he's got to flush all that, unless he's a really tricky player, dude. Like, unless he's a really tricky player where he leads out with like a flush and then checks the river on a one-liner. If you think that him checking the river means that he doesn't have a flush, he's probably not. I mean, I guess he can have king jack and he can have obviously 7-8. The question then becomes, can you get him to fold those hands? Because then if I was in his spot, I'd look at what bluffs do you have? What bluffs does this guy have? Could he be turning something into a bluff here that has a high spade in it? But you're almost protected by the board, I feel like, because in order for you to be bluffing here with a high spade, you would have to be good enough to turn a hand into a bluff, right? Because what high spade do you have on the turn that you're going to call? And it's ace king, which is not a bluff, right? Ace queen, which you'd have to turn into a bluff, and ace jack. Ace jack would be open-ended on the turn with a high spade as I'm looking at the board. So I'd have to be in that Asian guy spot and be like, this guy, if he bets like pot here, I only beat a high spade in his hand if I have 7-8 or if I have king jack. And the only way that he's really going to have a offsuit high spade here is if he has like ace of spades jack or ace of spades queen, unless you're like I'm assuming you're not that out of line from the low jack, like raising like ace 8 offsuit or something like that. But do you follow me? Do you see what I'm saying? So
definitely.
It seems like it could probably be a good spot to bluff. Maybe you go nuts here and he calls you with king jack, but like, I mean, I would default if I'm in your opponent's spot to think that people don't turn enough hands into bluffs. So if you make a bet here, and you might not really need to polarize either. I think you could choose a sizing that might be like 600-700 that isn't just all flushes. It represents king plus and ace king. But if you bet 600-700-800 here, I'm going to have a real hard time calling because the only thing I beat is you turning ace queen or ace jack into a bluff with a spade in it. That's kind of what it looks like.
The only thing I was thinking is he could sometimes maybe have like 3-4, 4-5 of spades where he just bets the baby flush and then he's going to check call every river.
Well, that was
when the 4 line to the straight comes. But
why would he do that though? You know what I mean? Like, why would he do that?
I don't know that he would, but
yeah.
That was just my worry because otherwise I don't see there's too many flushes that he could really have. But the other thing is I just was unsure if he's ever going to fold the king, unless I just bomb it.
Well, I mean, you can also, you could also make his life very, very difficult with a king here too. Like what would you do if you did have ace king here?
Oh, if I have ace king, I'd probably bet like 900.
Yeah,
I think because I don't think I think the problem here in my mind when I was in the hand anyway was like. I was going to have to make a really big bet no matter what. Because if I had a king, I'm probably going to bet pretty big.
Right.
And then if I somehow have the flush, I'm going to bet pretty big too. Because when he leads the turn, like I feel like if he has a hand he's going to call, he's got to have 2-pair plus. But
I just think that I think you have a lot of kings here, though, the way that this hand has played out when you call a spade turn. So,
yeah.
I could. yeah, I could definitely see bluffing
Go for
here,
the
but
bet.
I don't know if the sizing is like crazy, like people in the chat are saying, because I think that if you polarize sizing, now you're trying to represent like you've got just like flushes, I feel like, and you could be risking a lot if he has a baby flush to do that. So I might
Yeah.
just make the same bet that you would make with a king here. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but so what, like 700, 650?
Yeah, that's what I said, like 700 or 800, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. The problem I was gonna, I don't know, I was just super lost, but I was thinking, I can bet like 600, 650 here, maybe a little less,
Uh-huh.
but I think he's gonna call two pairs there. So it's like
He's gonna call two
I don't
pair.
know.
What two pair does he have? A
I
queen
think
10?
he could definitely have a lot of hands here. The only hand I saw him play this day, he squeezed queen deuce off in like a six-way pot when it was like 100 call, call, call.
Well, I mean, if he's a
So I mean,
terrible player and he's never gonna fold, then that's different. You know what I mean?
that's
We
the
should
thing
have
though.
could have had that
He's
in the
not
beginning.
terrible. He's not terrible. He's just not scared money, and he'll reload 3K over and over and over, and he doesn't really care if he loses. Like, you know what I mean? He's trying to win, but
Yeah.
he's not playing super.
So
tight.
what happened? Did you check it
But-
back or what?
Yeah, I tanked forever, and then after a while, I was like, man, I waited too long, and I just lost. I checked it back, and he ended up having 10-6 off.
10-6 off. What the?
Yeah,
Oh,
which was like a
man.
one hand I could definitely get him to fold, obviously. So it was a bit annoying. But
Yeah,
thought it was an
obviously that
interesting
guy
thought.
is not thinking on my level of, oh, you have, don't have, the only hands that you're bluffing with here are the ones that you're turning into a bluff. I think I'm a couple levels ahead if he's playing 10-6 off, but that's where I would have thought about it, thinking if I thought that the guy was decent. But thanks for the call. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA200. Click on the link right there.